Okay. Well, welcome everybody to another Team Deck Planet Talk. This is, I think, number 12. It's been a while since we've had the actual team here. I know we've been doing a lot of guest ones, but we're going to be going back to the regular scheduled programming. Hopefully, if Bandai, increases the speed of when these cards come out, because we want to be talking about these spoilers, but, it took 2 weeks for Black to come out, so maybe it's going to take 3 weeks for Yellow to come out. We never know. But today we're going to do some catch up work. We're going to be talking about the black reveals that we like, and as well as the dash packs that we like. And obviously, the dash packs are already out, and some of us already have access with them. So we've had some time to play around and see how they actually fit into the meta. And I think for most of us, it's completely positive. I think they did really well with those dash packs. What do we think we go on first? We go with the dash packs going chronological order here, and then we end on black. I
Yeah,
think
we're
that works.
Dragon Ball players.
Sounds
That's
Don't
true.
want to lose anyone.
That's true. We don't want to lose anyone. We can't read. We're Dragon Ball players. That's how it works. I guess I'll start it up. Well, I guess for the card that I think is like my favorite personally from the dash pack, that cooler unison. I don't even know what it's called right now. It snapped. Having the
Cooler,
ability,
cruel commander.
cruel commander. There we go. We got some alliteration there. But he is a unison that comes down for, he's one specified cost, so you can play him for free off the leader. He's got an power 3 markers, so a little more than the other little piss babies, but he does have a nice little auto where when you have 3 or more energy, you can charge one of your green cards.
Markers.
3 or more markers, sorry, yeah, 3 or more markers. That's probably the right way to say it. Probably too many glasses of whiskey before I started doing this. But 3 more markers, you get to charge one of your green cards in your drop area. Doesn't need to be battle cards, so you can keep all that stuff in there and just put like a homicidal clones is what I always did with that card, because it just felt great getting rid of the extra cards that really mean nothing but overwhelm fodder in my drop area. Put one of those in, and then he gains dual attack for the turn. And his +1, you burst one, give him 10k, so he's a 15k dual attack. Like, there's nothing more I can say with a deck that rushes you down and is so aggro for like so little energy that another dual attack unison on top of that, where the unison underneath is going to draw you a card off your leader, and on your awakening turn you can play that one as well as playing the SR one to make them drop one and get 20k. Like, it's so much value that was added to the deck by giving it another beat stick unison. And I absolutely love that card. I think that card is like a 10 out of 10. Like, if they're going to boost the deck, that's the way to do it. And I think the dash packs hit that note with most of them. Especially, I know we'll get into later with Bojack, which I think super, super good support on that. But best functioning card, I think that just, I'm a cooler player, so I'm biased. But my favorite art would have to be the SS4 GT leader. I think it looks really cool, like coming out the 3D with the fist. That's what the dash pack's made on. They knew that art was going to hit. I'm just going to go plain and simple. I like that one for my art. Hoffman, I know we'll stick on the same note here with green. I know you wanted to talk about cooler as well, because you are a filthy cooler player like me too.
Yeah. I've been on and off the deck since its release. Red GT kind of put me in a bad mood with that deck. I can't remember the extra Briar. What's that extra card that it runs?
Difference of status.
Yeah. So since difference of status became a thing, like I kind of put the deck down. But since GT wasn't really coming out, I started coming back. But now that GT has support, it's not too bad now that we have more aggro options with the cooler deck. It's not as hard of a matchup because GT has to see certain cards in order to win against cooler, or else cooler just really rolls them over more. So now, my other than the unison, obviously, which is an extremely powerful card, I really like the King Cold card, the 4-drop King Cold, leader of the Frieza clan. Unique barrier blocker, permanent for each green unison in your drop area. It's reduced cost of this card in your hand by 1. So it has a specified cost of 1 though, so it doesn't reduce specified cost, so it's always going to be a cost of 1 at minimum for 1 green. Auto once per turn. If your leader card is a green, freezes clan card, which is the cost of the auto at the end of turn, or when this card activates blocker skill, switches card to active mode. So you can swing with it. Like I said, it has barrier. It's a 20k power. So you can swing with it the turn you play it, and then at the end of your turn it switches to active mode. And then since it's a blocker during your opponent's turn, it's going to be a dual blocker essentially. And then also has a second auto when its card activates its blocker skill, which it's not a once per turn. Um, use 1 mono green card with a 5k combo power from your drop area with its skills negated for the battle. So you get to combo with a 5 cost from the drop, which in cooler, obviously, you have unisons. You don't have a lot of 5k combo cards, but you have some. And you're probably bound to find them. Plus, you run the King Cold, and the King Cold itself is a 5k combo. So if you see multiples, you can always combo one off on like an early aggro swing with the unison that you play early, maybe just to make sure one of the damages goes through type thing. If you know you're going to play maybe a little bit defensive on the following turn, depending on the deck you're playing against. But if you block the first swing, you're going to combo with the card from the drop, so it's a 25k barrier blocker, but it's going to restand itself. So if your opponent's deck KOs things that are in rest mode, it's going to restand on the auto timing. So it's not going to be able to get KO'd during activate battle sequence because it's going to be back in active mode, which is huge. And then also at the end, you have the option obviously to Z charge that card in case you have 2 0 cost 5Ks in a drop. So you could potentially Z charge 2 cards from the drop. So it could field 2 Z charges. It could potentially field 3 if you Z charge something on the attack of the card. To me, it just has an extreme amount of utility for 1 energy. And granted, it has unique, but a lot of things in this game are going to swing for 20k, 25k, and it's going to die. Something's going to kill it. And whether it goes to the drop or not is fine, because the next time you're just going to play another one for 1 energy, and then you're just going to block, and then you're just going to combo with the one that got killed, and you're going to put that into your Z energy. So essentially, when your opponent kills it and removes it, all it's going to do is your opponent's just literally killing it to put it into your Z energy at that point. So like all they're doing is removing a barrier blocker or a dual barrier or dual blocker essentially to put it into your Z energy for you, which helps you support you playing the Frieza Z battle card that we now have support of, which removes barrier cards, which this deck didn't have. So I think this card's a phenomenal card for an addition to this deck, which, like I said, I think a lot of people are sleeping on this card personally.
Mm-hmm. I
And
was one of them.
yeah, and like I said earlier before we started the stream, right now in testing, I removed the 1-drop 20k double striker that makes your opponent drop a card. I feel that uh, it could potentially replace it, but as Briar said the other day, now that God Sealing's gone, that discard is going to happen a lot more often than not. So I might run like a 3-2 split more or a 2-2 split more. So I gotta test those ratios now that God Sealing's gone. So that cooler looks a lot better into blue
That
specifically.
That's the ratio I'm going. But I'm going opposite. I'm going 3 of the coolers, 2 of the King Colds,
Okay.
just because I was sleeping on the King Cold too, and it's unique and stuff. And mine, like, I try to go full aggro with the build and trying to
Yeah.
just all the gas, and my only breaks is dormant if I find it.
Yeah,
But
see, so like my breaks are dormant and then this and like 2 homicidals.
yeah, that's the same thing there.
Like
I only ran
that's
2.
it for me.
But
So for me it's like, and then like these you can swing with and they just restand as extra breaks just in case if you need it. So like it is what it is in my opinion.
no, I honestly thought it was just going to. I'm just like, I can't ditch a card. Obviously, you want to try to ditch as many cards as possible with the swings you're going to do as well too, because that's where the
Yeah.
value in cooler truly comes from. But I'm just
Yeah.
like, in the SS4 matchup when they're swinging with 20k doubles and stuff, and or 20k crit, and you use that. Holy, that thing saved my fucking life. Like it
Oh
was,
yeah, absolutely.
especially if you're hand controlling someone already from those discard a card here. I'm swinging 15 here. You got a combo here. Once you get down to that, they got 3 or 4 cards left in hand. They're not gonna
Yep.
try to remove that king cold because they're gonna just waste all the combo power in their hand to do the king cold, and then the king cold already did its job anyway. So it's just
Yep.
like he's gonna stick on the board a lot of the time too, because the barrier does make it more annoying that he's a 4-cost barrier on the field. Of course, we got ignoring barrier stuff like for a lot of stuff now, but
Yeah,
are
yeah.
they really gonna tap 2 for black smoke or other things? I don't know.
Which is fine because if it's an aggro deck and they tap 2 for a barrier removal, at that point they just jack
Yep.
up their whole entire tempo
Mm-hmm.
and they slow down their whole entire turn. They could use that 2 energy to swing at you 6 times for all you know, like you know what I mean, like, or swing
Yep.
at you for 6 damage. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a super good card that I slept on, but actually in play saved my life. Like it is definitely
yep.
a super good card. But did you have one in mind for art that you liked from the dash packs?
So I re-looking at the dash pack cards now. There's really nothing art wise that kind of like, oh
Screams.
my god, that
Yeah.
artwork is fire. Because Dragon Ball only has like certain amount of artworks that they can use, and everything kind of like over time repeats itself essentially. Which, I mean, it is what it is. That's the kind of the thing that happens with card games, which is it's fine. Everything, it is what it is. I really like the way, like you mentioned earlier, with SS4 and how his fists are coming at like 3D out of the thing. Um, I'm not saying SS4 specifically, but I like that type of card where they're bringing the artwork of the card closer to the face
Mm-hmm.
Like
of
Golden.
the individual holding the card, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
No, I know
So,
you mean.
like, the trunks, the Z Awakened trunks, like the sword, if it was 3D, would look like it was coming out of the card. The cooler unison looks like the face would be coming out of the card. The golden Frieza's Z battle card looks like the fist would be coming out of the card. Like those are the cards specifically that I like more than others. Like Zangia's Z battle card, her foot would look like it would be kicking you in the teeth type shit. Like those are the cards that I prefer over others. Like the Omega Shenron. Like I like the artwork, it's nice, it's clean, it looks great. I like the coloring, but it's Omega Shenron.
Yeah, we
Like
get
it's
the fuck
cute.
out of here. Like,
Like, oh wow, you're so powerful.
It's
mhm,
You're
cute.
awesome. You got pink shit around you. That's
mhm,
great. Oh,
People love
Janemba,
tokens.
you don't support Mill. You're ugly. I don't like you.
mhm.
Like as much as I hate Janemba Mill, like that Janemba Mill needs some sort of like, here's a little bit of support. Like just like one card. Like here's a Mill 2 card. Just
Mhm.
give it something. Like just like dangle a little bit. Make Cam William whatever the fuck, I can't even pronounce his last name. Dude, I love Cam. I love him. He's such a helmet player. I love Cam to death. He always cries at Fashbinder in the judge chat about like give me Janemba support, and Fashbinder always trolls him. Like he'll black out the words on Janemba cards to where he can spell out like Cameron, you're not getting support or something along those lines, and like be like, look, here's the leak, and then like it just says Cameron no, or like something like a lot more rude than that, and then Cam's just like, now I'm depressed. It's funny, but like I want Cam to get support. I want Cam to be happy, but like he sees
Eventually.
this and he's like, I hate my life. And I'm just like, poor Cam. So like, fuck this Janemba card specifically. Like, if you like this Janemba card, I hope you stub your toe on an air mattress, and then like you have the shits and you can't get your pants down.
Fair enough. That sounds like a great way to close.
Yeah, that's it.
Pass the torch then. Who do you want to go next?
Wes.
All right, so being a black player, I'm gonna go with Majin Buu as my well, that too, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Majin Buu Pure Destroyer. And I'm picking this one because The Z deck is not the best for black at the moment, outside of I guess Cumber next set where he has support just for him. But Boo, so obviously he supports Agent of Destruction. I'll read his first activate main. This isn't why I'm picking it, but the first activate main. So he's a blocker, he's a 1 energy and 1 Z energy. If your leader's backside is a Majin Buu, leader of Agents of Destruction, its front side is facing up. You have 6 or less life, and you have 2 or more energy. Flip one of your leaders to its backside. Draw 2 cards, and remove this card from the game. So early awaken for Agents of Destruction. That's great. The second activate main limit 1. If your leader is black, you have 3 or more energy, and you place one of your Z energy in your drop. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and place it under this card, and this card gets plus 20,000 power until the end of your opponent's turn. So he's 5k base, gets pumped up to a 25k. And now we don't have to run, 4 of the Demigras just because we want a Z deck. You can, put in 1, 2, 3 of these, and it can be very potent because you have your free token negates. All right, you token negate, I'll pay 1, and I'll absorb your token. And now you have a 25k swing for 1 energy. Now, when you pair that up with a free Overrealm Dark Broly, now you're potentially warping 2 blockers for the cost of 1 energy on a kill turn. And when you pair that up with a leader like Black Massaiyan, where he's an untapped 2 black energy on his awaken turn 4, you're potentially looking at the new Cumber boss card for 2 energy. All right, I'll awaken, untap 2. Now I got all my energy back. Overrealm Broly. I think that Cumber is like I know we'll get into the black cards, but off the top of my head, I think it's like a double strike dual attack or something like that. So now that's 2 double strike swings. All right, you token negate. Here's my Broly. I'll bait out another one. All right, here's 1 energy. Here's Majin Buu. And now I still have 1 energy up for whatever other play. So I think having access to this card in your Z deck for spot removal for anything that's not buried. There's no cost restriction to it. It's just any card as long as it doesn't have buried. So I think that one's a little biased because again I'm a black player, but that's my pick.
No, I think it's super good too. Just giving the black Z deck some stuff. Because obviously Demigra is kind of, I guess, Vegeta, but Vegeta, everyone's running Vegeta. So that one doesn't really
Right.
count. But yeah, I think that Boo, especially for the spot removal, is insane. Being 20k block for 1 energy, 1 Z. Like, it's like, come on. Because like when you got to think about it too, Demigra, I still think for being the basic black Z battle card is kind of high costed. Like, it's 2 cost and 3 Z energy. Like, I think it should be knocked down. If you want to do 3 Z energy, fucking make it a 1 cost. Like, it's still, or make it like 2 Z energy or 1 Z energy. I don't know. It definitely does some work, but it doesn't have protection either. So it's not like 2 energy in black is a lot when you see what kind of cards you can play for 1 energy in black.
Right, exactly. And if you want to say it can be used for defense too, you don't have to swing with it. It's a 20. It keeps the 20,000 boost until the end of your opponent's turn. So you're potentially stopping 2 swings. One drops are pretty easy to get rid of, but I guess best case scenario, if you don't swing with it, you're stopping 2. You're warping a battle card and you're stopping a 25k swing. And him being 25k, you might not even need a combo out of it. So he may live and stay on the field for another turn.
True.
Well,
True.
very true. Well, do you have a favorite art in mind? I know it's a little harder with the dash packs. The black cards, I think it's a little easier because there's a lot of, they got SRs and different versions and stuff, but was there anything that caught your eye?
It would have to be either the Trunks Z leader, again going with Charles's 3D perspective. The sword's pretty cool. It has the glowing effect. honorable mention would probably be King Cold. Very basic, but I just like the purple and red and
The
the
aura.
dark blue. Yeah, the aura around it. The colors together.
Yeah. Yeah, I think solid picks. Pass that torch off.
All right, we'll go with beer year next.
All right. So my pick for I feel is probably the best dash pack support out of it all is the Zangia. Um, I've been playing a lot of the blue Bojack recently. The Zangia, like the other two Bojack support cards, are fantastic because now you have more targets and all that. But the Zangia takes the deck from being a strategy of, oh man, I gotta stall my opponent out till my turn 4 till I can finally play my Boo Unison and finally awaken and yada yada. We're going from this really weird strategy to, oh, turn 2, I'm gonna ramp, and if I'm on curve and I'm the person going first, I'm at 3 energy when my opponent's at 1. I pass to them. Oh, they can't kill me turn 1 anyways, so they can't kill me turn 2 unless it's Gogeta Burr, right? Who cares, right? And then when you go into your turn 3, you're like, oh, I played Boo Unison, and then now you awaken and you untap 1, draw 2, and then you draw another one. You have the ability to set up a massive board now, and then on that particular awaken turn 2, you're at 4 energy, your opponent's at 3, and on their turn 3, when they try to even swing at you, if you didn't use the energy you got from awakening, you would actually have 2 open, and then you could potentially use a floodgate like a heroic prospect or the Android 17 promo, and then you could then use your leader's auto as well and untap 4, and now your opponent's like, oh, so now you got a bottom deck cards to even attack you, and you have 4 open, which means if I attack you, you're potentially flooding the board on me as well. Yep. And then when you go into your turn 4, you just apply the pressure or you ramp again with it. And if you don't, that's fine. You just apply pressure and you clear your opponent like they're a punk. You just clear their board, you clear everything that you can, you pressure their life, and then when you go to your turn 5, you just play another Zangia. You tap out something else for 2. Then you play the Goku SCR. You're at 7 energy now. You untap 7, and then you just play Turn the Tide, and you look at your opponent, and you're like, yeah, so here's 30 crit, and I have a 40k triple attacker, and all my Bojacks that are double strike dual attackers, then you have new double striker, and I got my dual attack Bojacks as well, and all this other fun stuff, and your opponent's just like, what the hell just happened to me? And all that because one Z card they printed for the deck makes all the difference. And on top of that, it's a 10k barrier. And not only is it a 10k barrier, it gives your Bojacks barrier for over a full turn cycle. If you play it on your opponent, if you play the Bojack on your opponent's turn and you use your auto, it's literally going to be your Bojack has barrier on that turn, your turn, and the end of the next turn on your opponent's side, which is insane. So like,
Yeah, because it
yeah,
says until the end of your opponent's next turn.
next turn.
Yeah, so if she's on board and you play one off of energy during your opponent's turn, that's not your opponent's next turn.
Correct.
So it's during that's
Yeah.
stupid.
It's dirty.
Yeah, so now your 30k double strike dual attack Bojack is now a barrier double strike dual attack, which is very hard because he's an 8 cost as well. So
Mhm.
All
now,
I think about right now is that GIF of Rafiki on top of Pride Rock just yeeting Simba off of Pride Rock.
oh
you,
my
ever
god.
you ever see that GIF? You
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
just GIF search yeet, and you just see Rafiki just yeet, and it says yeet, and it's just him throwing Simba off Pride Rock. For some reason, that's all I thought about when you mentioned that. I was like, God bless.
Yeah. And it feels very very like the deck is now extremely consistent because the other things too is like the minor things too with the Zangief in particular, and like the new other ones are good too. I'm not gonna like there's no question about that, but like the fact of the matter is like you ideally you're gonna charge Bojack Brigade cards to play them from your energy, of course, right? But when she's played, you put a Bojack Brigade from your hand into your energy, right? So because you do that, you're potentially, instead of getting one target a turn into your energy, you're potentially getting 2 targets a turn in your energy without even needing to use your leader's activate battle, which puts another potential one. You could whiff, you could not, but when you don't whiff, so that means you're getting 3 targets in on your turn, which is a big deal. Like that is a lot.
Yeah,
That
actually
is
landing
very,
your
very
targets in that deck is huge.
yeah. So being able to manipulate that is very, very important. Um, But then regarding in terms of art, I'm gonna go with the GT Trio. It's
Respectable.
nice, simple, consistent, and and it is a powerful card too. But we'll leave that alone for a second. And I'll pass it out to Carl.
I was gonna say before you start, Carl, I like how they keep making these cards that are very similar to how Objection was. Obviously, you know, that stays on the ban list. That's the only card I've cried about being on the ban list, but I get it. But for the love of God, can they just unban the Zamasu Plan for Destruction?
Yes,
If they're getting all
please.
these other fucking cards that are locked to leaders like this Zangia for Boja, just please.
Just do it.
Just lock it to the set
So-
2-1. I don't give a fuck. Just give me a reason to play that set 2-1.
Give us back Shugesh.
Okay, let's
Just
not get
saying,
fucking ridiculous.
So just to add to that real quick, back in I think it was 2018, there was a regional, an ARG regional. That's how far back it
Yeah.
was in Atlantic City in Jersey, where I played set 2 Zamasu when that card came out, or set 2 Goku Black when that card came out, and it was Yellow Broly was the meta. And I played. I can't remember his name to save the life of me right now. A Puerto Rican player, pretty well known back then. Very nice guy, like extremely polite. I sat across from him and I sat down in Goku Black, and he looks at me. He goes, "I don't want to lose, but I hope to God you beat me with that leader." So he rolls the dice and beats me game 1, and I take. And I didn't see like Objection. I didn't see really the cards I needed to see game 1. Game 2, I go first, right? I see Objection. I see Beans, and I see Plans of Devastation. 7 energy on my turn 3. Blew up 3 of his energy. He had to start his turn 4 with 0 energy. Ended up killing him, winning game 2. And all he does is he's on Shenron's lair. All he does is tell his whole team like surrounded me at the end of the event and was just like cheering me on about how I just snuffed him in game 2. And he was so proud and so excited about
Good
how
kid.
he just got rolled game 2 by Goku Black set 2. They were so happy about it. And like that's the kind of shenanigans that I want, man. Like I want Planet Devastation back.
I hope that card comes
Give me
back
7
in some
energy
fashion.
turn 2, turn 3.
Exactly, because it's what
Let
you
me
need...
play Android 17 turning tide on turn 3.
Yeah, because you need what 7 energy between you and your opponent for plan. So you can make it happen.
Yeah,
easily.
yeah. So it was crazy because the leader ramps and then you hit Objection, and then you awaken untapped 1. I swung with lead, then you bean, but you can't do that now because obviously Bean's only defensive now, so that wouldn't work. Now it'd be a little bit slower. But
See, look, it's perfectly fine. Unban it.
yeah, see, yeah, just give you Planet Devastation.
Carl.
Something
Anyway.
else.
Oh,
Go ahead.
go beer.
Sorry, one more thing I realized because you were just talking about Objection, it just clicked in my brain. I remember now too was with the Bojack with the Zangia support too. You could actually go even further into the ramp if you wanted to, and on that turn 4, you could play the Herdigarn, the Duval's Herdigarn. So you can ramp even more. Technically, you could push 8 energy by turn 5. No, 9 energy actually, because if you play it on turn 4, you're gonna ramp 1 there, and then on your turn 5, you could ramp with Zangia, then you could ramp with the Herdigarn if it hasn't been removed, and then you can Kaioken, and then now you have 9 energy on your turn 5.
Yeah, it's called getting ridiculous with it.
Yeah.
And then
Or you run SS4.
charge on turn 6 and go to 10, and you tap 10 and play Gogeta and bottom deck 4 of their energy.
Oh yeah, you could totally do that.
No, you need to evolve them for that effect, don't you?
No.
Just
Oh, it's
orchestra.
the
Activate.
ramp. Oh, it's the ramp is you need.
Yeah,
to
it's an
evolve.
activate main. You just
Yeah.
hard tap 10 hard cast.
Okay.
That's why you run a 1 of in SS4 Vegeta ramp or Beerus.
Or
You just hard cast 10. Oh, you have 4 life. That's cute. Now you have none.
Sorry, Carl.
That's
Go ahead,
cool.
Carl.
We're gonna go fast because most of the cards I would choose have been chosen. But it's
Sorry,
cool.
senpai.
No, same for me. Would like the Boo Z card. what's caught my eye, and obviously the Bojack support. But yeah, that's that's would have been my pick. But I'll talk about the Goku because I think he does something that is pretty good, which gets you how's it called fix your energy in a kind of way. If you, as I was saying, not that it could be one of the greatest thing to do, but if you want to play like the dry apes in your in your Bojack build, or a yellow blue Bojack build or something like that. If you have a blue or yellow that get charge energy when you combo with one from your energy, the Goku fix your energy to not get fucked when you're trying to play the Boo Unison. So I think it's a really nice thing that you're able to do now in the deck, and like unclog your energy.
Yeah.
But mostly, I would say that the Bojack Brigade art looks really good with all those colors matching up is pretty insane.
Yeah.
And for the dashbacks, that's all I'm gonna say because most of it, like maybe the black cards for Kai of Time could be interesting, but I don't think that those cards gonna push that deck too far ahead to
Really?
be.
I'm different. I
Well,
think that Trunks is snapped just either
the
way.
the,
And in that
the
Kai, it's
Trunks is good.
24.
I
I
it's
threw the
it's
Kai deck in the trash on my stream.
I don't
it's
know.
kind of it's still fragile. It's fragile.
No, of
I was
course. It has to be. It's a black deck. You can't give them good things. You see what happens when you give them good things. You get fucking Dark Broly, you get Xeno Gogeta, you get all the fucking horrors.
Yeah,
Is,
you get kids at your locals that are still playing Vegex.
That too. Vegex, yeah, I forgot about Vegex.
Yeah, tell me about it.
but hey, it's black.
Yeah. Was there any art that tickled your fancy?
Well, most of the Bojack cards, I think the colors are insane.
Yeah.
That's
I gotta say, I didn't really like look at the Goku card, and I'm sitting there looking on it on my other monitor, man, and that thing is colorful. That
Mhm.
is a beautiful card, man. I can't wait to get my hands on that and look at it in person.
yeah, same here.
Yeah, when you actually expand the picture and you see the purple mountains in the background and the
Yeah,
red
that is
and
a
black.
gorgeous
Oh,
card, man.
We all
that's
slept
a
on the
good
art.
pick.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Yeah, that card's
I got a
fucking great looking.
Man, I can't wait to put it in my full foil Bojack card.
There you
Bojack
go.
deck.
Yeah, I gotta make sure I'm only missing a few more foils for the deck, and then I'll be good.
Yeah.
Luckily,
have-
my boy up there, Briar, like
I have a
Yep.
lot of worse foil too.
8 months ago, he's like, buy Bojack, it's gonna be good. I'm like, I ain't got the money for Bojack. He's like, what's your PayPal? Randomly sends me like $60, and next thing I know, it's like the whole deck is pre-released, foiled out. I'm like, that's how cheap this deck is.
Mhm.
He's like,
Yep.
yeah, but it's good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Just buy it. It's gonna be good.
It's always been good.
Mhm.
Almost a year later,
It's cracked.
support. We got support.
It's really good now, though. We're gonna talk about the other colors next, but before we do that, I would like to also mention that yellow sin. That
Mhm.
card is
Mhm.
absolutely broken.
Of course, it's a sin card.
It's a sin card that you play in AOD, but you can also run in yellow sin. You just play it off your like tap 6 ability, because that's exactly what yellow sin needed, right? Was another triple striker.
Yeah.
But like, no,
True.
this is absolutely insane, because like it's not energy locked. It's not like, yeah, obviously it's leader locked, but that's it. Like, as long as you meet the requirement of having the 7 or more what is it, AODs in your energies, the energy battle area, drop in leader area, you just play this from your hand. So potentially, if you have the right turn 2, you can just play a 30k beat stick on your turn 2, and it's either going to draw you one or KO something ignoring barrier on turn 2, or you just play turn 3 and be like, yeah, here's a 30k triple strike and no fuss, no bust. Like, what? Absolutely insane.
Butts, no coconuts.
No, it's
Yeah.
definitely snapped. Completely off topic before we get into black. It was funny on stream. Someone was asking who's running that Turles deck, and I said it was you, Carl. And then I realized all the colors, all the decks that you all the decks that you play that aren't black, are they all just movie villains? 'Cause I'm trying to think. Bojack, Turles, Wheelo.
Yeah, the only one I don't have is Slug. I don't have Slug. That's the
But I'm saying,
only
the ones that aren't black, are they only movie villains? I'm trying to think of other like colored decks that you play. I'm just like,
That's funny.
no, but most of them,
Careful.
yeah,
I was
most
about
of
to
them,
go
yeah.
buy that from you.
there
But
you
yeah,
go.
Blue Jack, yeah, most of them are movies.
There
I
you
have
go.
like okay, Prison Frieza, but that doesn't count.
It's technically a movie because that's Frieza BR. That's the Broly movie Frieza.
Oh, fuck me.
I
Yeah,
You
I'm
got
playing Cooler too. Playing King Cold. Yeah, that's not a movie.
King
The
Cold
man just
BR.
keeps naming
It's King Cold
movies.
BR.
Ah, fuck. Oh man, and Bardock doesn't even count because he's a fucking movie
He's like a
actor.
movie special, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, you see,
It's
maybe that's
special.
what
It's
it
not even
is.
a movie.
Man, my
This
life's a
man.
lie.
This man just keeps naming
His
fucking.
life's a lie.
Oh man.
Well,
Shinshan Run. Shinshan Run. It's not a movie. Here we go.
I guess so.
hmm
There you go. That's your one. You get the
But
GT.
GT isn't canon.
Yeah, there you go. It's basically a movie then.
Okay.
Whatever. That's funny though.
Xenoblade is, video
Yeah.
game shit, no?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Because I know he did yellow and red too. But anyway,
Mm.
going on to black. I guess I'll start it off because I'll forget the card exactly, even though I have it pulled up right in front of me. For the new set coming out, this is set 20, right? We just had 19, 20's coming out. This is March, I believe.
Yeah, that's 20. That's 20.
Yeah. Okay. So when we're looking at black, everyone Cumber, we got the SR, we got all these cool things. The thing that made me piss my pants when I saw it, I'm like, that's awesome, is Evil Aura Overflow. The counterplay, where if your leader is a black Cumber and you discard one card from your hand, if the battle card being played has energy cost of 4 or less, play it in your battle area instead and it gains Servant. So when they want to floodgate you with their Bupo or their Topo or whatever, just nah, that's our card now. You take it, and if it's a Topo, that becomes a 30k because now it has Servant. And it's just like, what the fuck? I think it's super
Yeah,
good.
that caused quite a bit of aggravation on the judges' end trying to rule that.
Really, what was the aggravation?
It
there?
was. I mean, it was like if you think
And the
about it,
floodgate?
it makes sense. Like if you think about it, and I mean if you don't think about it, it makes sense. But if you think too hard about it, it gets confusing. And like the less you think about it, the more it makes sense. I guess you can say. It's just I got extremely confused about certain things. Like you can't stop an effect halfway through, right? So cards like Buppo, the Gohan negate and Prismatic, the person casting those negates are going to get the full effect, even though it's getting played in your opponent's area. Right? Makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't stop an effect halfway through.
Because it's part of the green counter text.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's part of the green counter text, you can't stop an effect halfway through. So no matter where the fuck it gets played, as long as it's played, it's gonna resolve in favor of the person triggering it, casting it, right? But because of Topo and Oceanus and other cards that have Robotic Riposte, they're autos. They're played, but they're played in the opponent's area. The opponent is going to get the auto.
They're the master of the card.
Yeah, because they're the new master. They're the new master of the card, not the owner, but they're the new master of the card. So they're going to resolve the auto. So you just got to look at how the auto is worded. So, if Cumber is the active player attacking, right? So say I'm Cumber, I'm attacking, and Briar casts Topo. Topo gets played on my field. Topo's cost of the auto says if it's your opponent's turn, blah blah blah, do the auto. Well, it's not my opponent's turn; it's my turn, so I don't get the auto. Whatever it is, it could be like KO 4 of your opponent's cards. Well, I don't get it because it's not your opponent's turn; it's my turn, right? So the auto's not going to resolve. So you just got to look at how the autos are wording when.
Oh, Oceanus is on the counter text, by the way. Oceanus is like Boo. It's on the counter text.
The floodgate is on the counter text for Oceanus.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's if you played a card, your opponent can't attack
be played.
Okay, so just regardless of whether it's on a counter text or not, just keep that in mind of how the autos are worded regarding their costs and their effects and their trigger conditions and stuff like that when this card is being used against you or whether you're using it to take a card. So like Topo won't trigger or won't get paid because the cost has to be your opponent's turn, and it's not your opponent's turn; it's your turn because you're the turn player. So it's just keep in mind it's stuff like that.
So
it's
the countertext
from
one's safe if they say play in the countertext.
Yeah, as long as it says like when this card is played, do XYZ or your opponent can't attack unless they discard 2 like Buppo. That's why like when Buppo's denied play, like sent to the drop area, for instance, instead of being played type thing, they still have to discard because it's a part of the effect. Unlike Topo. So even if
I thought it was part of the counter, isn't it? Choose it's counter, choose 1 card in your hand.
Yes, but it's not part of the cost.
It's part of the counter. So when you counter it, they don't have to discard.
So when you counter,
yeah,
okay,
but,
yeah.
But if you counterplay, you still would
but,
because it's part of the
yeah.
counter.
That's what I was confused on.
The way Buppo works is if it's played, they must discard. Like they have to discard 1. But so like if now I'm just fucking rambling and it's gonna confuse people, so I'm just gonna stop.
Perfect. There.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna keep fucking digging myself into a fucking rabbit hole, so I'm just gonna stop.
Perfect.
It's getting too fucking late, so
hey, that's what it's all about. But
all right, cool.
All I'm
my
saying,
my favorite black card's a Cooler. I don't play black. I just like Cooler because it's Frieza's clan.
It's pretty good too.
And wipes Goku's ignoring barrier.
Yeah, and it does not touch leader cards because it can't be removed, and it doesn't touch fucking energy because if it doesn't specify its fucking battle cards or leader's area, and leader's area cannot be removed by opponent's skills. Just like the yellow Broly promo can't touch a leader's anymore. It was changed in the rule manual.
Do you have some stuff to back that up?
The fucking rule manual does. Pinche.
Fuck. Well, I'll go move on to favorite art, since that one had a nice long topic, is the Fu Unison. Fu all according to plan, because I think it just looks like mall security guard looking at the women getting changed in the dressing room. That's literally what it looks like sitting there just... Excellent.
I'm glad you specified mall security guard, not security guard in general, because I would take offense to that.
I said mall security guard. I made it specific because that's why the changing room's just like Family Guy, with Quagmire being one of those. That's what I imagine that Fu is doing right now, just looking at, or sorry, for people that actually like Heroes, Few. I don't know, I think it sounds way cooler. And we're canceled. But I think he's also pretty good too. What, he gets reduced, like, he becomes as a 1 cost 15k. He's got a +2 where you get to choose an Evil Saiyan or Cumber card, both black, and cost 6 or less.
Come in with 1 unison or 1 marker.
Give him Servant, and then his -7. You got to tap 1 black, and you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards or Servant. Switch to attack, and won't gain control of it. Not bad. I think he's pretty decent, but the art is what made me piss my pants, so I had to talk about him. But
it's pretty good though.
But Carl, I know you got all your stuff stolen last time, so might as well get you up next, because I know you are, besides movie characters, you are a black player, so.
Just say that I like most of the deck. It was pretty cool. But I think most of those cards will be like used in mostly other decks, which is where I'm going to. I'm gonna say I'm gonna talk about the Son Goku Berserker's Instinct. I think this card is insane because I'm playing it in Fu, which I played with BR, and that helps Fu, not Fu, Finn. Did I say Fu?
You said Fu, but I know you've been talking about this card ever since it showed up because you love Finn. I still have Finn built, so I'm waiting for it too.
You just swing with Finn, come with this shit. So you're swinging with a 20k leader, Finn. Play this card on your opponent's side, which you have them to choose if they're comboing it off and give it back to you, or just they take the hit and you swallow that fucker, awaken, and swing with a mostly. You could be swinging with a fin or what's it called? A fin 20k double 25k double striker if you're able to do it,
Mhm.
because this guy's gonna give it's basically double strike skills to your leader each time you're gonna swallow it up. So I think it's a pretty good card. I think it's been like I know for those who are playing Yu-Gi-Oh, like it's the way of the kaiju cards when you're playing cards that you own on your opponent's turn and let you like just go aggro faster. I think that's maybe the good card that you can play into Finn and hope that you're able to swallow it and awaken really early. But yeah, that was one of the cards you guys I was really excited about since that flop with the blue piccolo and the pan that you play on the opponent's turn, but the pan has barriers, so it doesn't work. But this is what got me a lot excited to play outside of Cumber. But yeah, I'm pretty excited with this. And if even if you're not able to swallow your leader, they maybe combo it and just get it back to you. And either way, you're gonna have a 20k double striker on your turn too, so you'll be able to swing too.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I like a lot of about that card. And I'll say my favorite artwork. I'll go with the Cumber Super Saiyan, the Z leader. I'll looks insane.
Oh yeah.
Looks insane, and I'm just hoping. I'm calling it now. We're gonna get the Ozaru Cumber SCR this time.
Then you're
Right
gonna go
now.
back to back on. I guess the other one's Evil Saiyan, but you think they're gonna go back to back on that, huh? Because the other Cumber
Well,
like works like as soon as they showed all that shit, the Cumber SCR doubled in price because of uh, the basically insta win
the
if you had the right cards in hand with the SCR, the SR, and
Vegito,
that Vegito.
the Vegito, yeah. So yeah, but because I don't see them getting the monkey version of Cumber any other set because there's not that much of Cumber viewing or uh, like he's not there too long. So I think it would be like the best time or the brightest thing to do to release him in this set mostly.
So what you're saying is that he should be Overwhelm 6 and red, right? Just like the
Yes.
other SCR.
Uh, but
And you can only
still,
use it
like,
with red leaders.
but still, we don't know if we're gonna get more black support. Like maybe you're just teasing the only half of it. Because I was pretty down. I was pretty depressed that we didn't get a full leader yet. But finger crossed. And I can't wait to see maybe a Majin Buu in yellow. We don't know.
That might be what we're getting. I don't know. Seeing the spirit bomb and stuff, so we might have what? That's a boo of every
Negate the
color now.
skills, then absorb your opponent's cards.
It's
Mm-hmm.
the only color that Boo has not been made yet. He's been green, he's been black, he's been yellow, red,
It's
he's
been
been blue.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's about it.
I think those are good picks. Even that first card you're talking about, like with Finn and stuff. I think the art on that's super sick too, of Berserker Goku. But pass that torch.
Let's go to Charles.
Ooh. Oh. Uh, so like I said earlier, I haven't played black since Dark Broly. I earned a PBG invite playing Dark Broly at full power. I kind of scrubbed in though because of passed down invites. Thanks Bandai for removing those. Really gives me a good shot at earning one. Anyway. I guess we'll go with artwork wise first.
You already said it.
Yeah, no, I really. I think artwork wise, I really like the Z Awaken Cumber leader for artwork. I think that's fire. The Super Saiyan Cumber Battle Frenzy. Going back to that 3D look. It looks like his hand's about to come out and grab your noggin and say, "Nah,
I
this
was
is
gonna
my
say,
card
if you
game."
want 3D, why don't you get the Z battle cards grabbing your nuts?
My wife would get mad. She's like, "Nah, those are mine. No one's grabbing those." As
I'll pull
for
out the testicles again.
oh god, as for
And ban.
battle cards, like favorite card, honestly, I'm probably gonna stick with the cooler. It's something that's so simple, but it's such a powerhouse at the same time. It's it's an easy, cheap card. The 3 cost 15k when cards played. Choose as one of your opponent's Son Goku cards, ignoring barrier, and send it to the owner's warp. Activate main limit 1. Pull if your latest card is black. Play this card from your hand. I think honestly, with how many Goku cards there are in this game, I think this card's going to be an easy 2-card sideboard card for black decks, and an easy maybe even 1 card in the main board deck. Just in case. And I mean, God forbid, you don't come across a deck that runs any Goku cards, you just side it out. You know that if you play against green Turles or yellow Turles, if they're not running the faded Goku package, you don't see any of them get charged, you don't see any of them end up in a drop, you don't see any of them in play. All right, cool. Next game, I'm just gonna side it out. That you can just rip it out of the deck, and that's just an easy slot to side inside out. So it's just one of those cards where it's gonna be one of your extreme flex spots that you can do, but it's one of those flex spots that brings a lot of utility to the black decks.
What I like about that one too is that yellow Goku, the Z battle card that you rest a battle card and negated skills.
Deflect barrier.
Yeah, that one. Now you can
Yeah.
pay the 1 energy to bait it out with the cooler instead of committing an overrealm or a boss card. It's all right, either you burn that skill on this this cooler, or your Goku's gone.
Me first thought is the blue floodgate one, the triple striker barrier.
Oh yeah,
When
that
he's
was
in
annoying
rest
too.
mode.
That's a straight. Yep, a lot of ramp decks will play that negate barrier, unique blocker.
Triple striker, I believe.
Striker. It has every fucking keyword they
Yeah.
can in the game. Might as well have dual attack, blocker, barrier, triple striker, quad strike,
Might as well give them crit and victory strike.
victory strike, but it can't deal damage what the fuck else are you gonna give it, dude? Stays in rest mode, servant, can only untap during your opponent's main phase, but then it can't swing, but then at the start of your main phase it taps itself. How many more fucking things do you want to give it to me, dude?
It's like that cooler is like the barrier removal that black needs. You just remove Goku. That's all.
Yeah.
There's
And
a good-
honestly, as dumb as that sounds, it's still extremely strong though.
That's
You know what I mean?
35% of the card pool.
Exactly. It's as it doesn't sound strong in a vacuum, but it's Bandai and it's Dragon Ball and it's Goku.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So you mean
It's good forever.
this many cards out of my deck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh. So you tap one. Oh.
Oh,
Shit.
that
And
red.
and it's not an overwhelm?
Mhm.
And you don't warp? Oh.
That
And now
fucking-
they got to think about it the whole game too. It's do I really want to pay
you're
this energy for them to cooler me?
So I just tapped 3 and removed 2 of my Z fucking energy, and you just tapped 1 black card and removed my shit.
Thinking about that 4-cost red motherfucker dual attack.
Yeah. And it warps it too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you
So-
warped it, and then you're and then you play the secret rare Cumber, and you're I'm gonna play your Goku that I just warped. Kill you with it.
That cooler is what, a 3-drop, right? So you can just overwhelm the SS4 Goku and pick it right back up out of the warp if you need it. Got
True.
cooler on speed dial if your Gokus are acting up.
Yeah.
True.
So even if you only run one and you're running against a heavy Goku deck in game 1 in a best of 3, you have access to it in that black deck if you're running a heavy overall black deck
Fine
with the
though.
Goku.
It says Son Goku, not Goku GT or anything like that. So just be wary of that. That's all.
Yeah,
Or-
that's true.
Yeah.
Yep, you
or
can get
Xeno
skamazed
Goku.
into it like people used to do with the Mechikabura 2 drop.
Mm-hmm.
Can't play against Broly, the Broly swap deck. Can't play your 6-drop Broly. Okay, cool. I just said you can't play your Broly. That's cool. It's a Broly fucking BR, bitch.
I
You
guess
say
so.
Broly BR. You knew what I meant. I didn't because you said Broly. This is a Broly BR. It's 2 separate characters. It's not my fault. You didn't know what the fuck you're talking about. Stupid ass. I'd say yeah. I'd definitely say cooler. I really like the Fu, the Scheming Overlord Fu, as well. But I just don't like how it's locked to a black Cumber leader.
Yeah, they
I
should.
think black in general needs a more
Generic.
generic Overlord card, which could have been used in other decks.
Mhm.
It could have been nice, 20k crit Overlord. So even if you swing with it, your opponent can swing with it and remove it. So I don't think it would have been a threat being generic.
Would have been great for
Um,
Truman Salsa.
Right? That's what I'm saying, right? Like your opponent has 2 or more energy and a battle card in play. Like that's a lot of stipulation.
Yeah, it is.
Granted, like Cumber puts shit on your opponent's board, so like it's really not that hard of a stipulation to make. But in other decks, it could be a hard stipulation to make. So I think they kind of missed a bullet on that one. But I mean, I like it. I mean, I probably wouldn't play it. I feel like it's a very gimmicky deck. I don't think it's going to be a powerhouse of the meta. I think it's trying to do too much personally. I think if someone really figures it out after a lot of testing, it could be good. But I think it's going to be another green Broly BR deck. And I'm sad to say that because I've been testing that deck through and through, and it's going to be one of those decks where you do a lot to get nothing out of it.
No, fair enough.
I get you.
And it's sad to say, but I mean it is what it is type thing.
It's true. Well, pass that torch.
Briar, go ahead.
I'll let Carl go first. Oh, wait, no. I'll let
Carl
Wes.
just went. What's going on?
Oh, right. Yeah, I'll let
is
Wes.
going.
I'll let Wes go first.
So I'm pretty excited about the deck. A lot of the black decks that I play, Truman Salsa, Matt Sand, etc., tend to get fucked quite a bit on RNG between milling myself or warping, key cards. But I think Cumber will be a good change of place because it looks like he's got a lot of consistency pieces built for the archetype. Specifically the Mai and what is this? The Trunks Prisoner from the Future. So Trunks searches for the Mai or any black sand with the energy cost of 6 or less. So I think that kind of, if you want to try to go the overrealm route, you can, or search for your super combos. So supports a lot of the old black sand stuff. And then she's just a 1-drop where you play her and you just grab the Vegito out of the deck. So you don't have to look at the top 5. You don't have to burst or anything like that. So those 2 pieces right there, that's 8 cards that helps get your engine started early to what I think you want to get the Vegito out like before they're down to 4 life. A lot of decks now will take their own life, run Z battle cards to take their own life, but I think this is a good way to turbo yourself to get to the Vegito play before they can get themselves down to 4 life. So I think the consistency is there. I haven't tested the deck yet, but on paper it sounds good. And then you got the Cumber that for 1 energy is a dual attacker 19k and gives your opponent battle card Servant. So I think it can be built to be quite toolboxy. I don't even know if you need to run the full engine. per se, but I think it's got some good stuff in there. As for artwork, I think I'm gonna go with the Cumber Z battle card. So not the Super Saiyan one, but another 3D in effect. Yeah, he's got his hands out reaching for Charlie's balls like everybody else.
The left ball. What
Felt
is
that.
the left ball?
Yeah.
Felt that through the monitor. That was bad.
But yeah, I think that one looks pretty
Fingers
cool.
were cold.
All the black and red.
Damn.
No,
Almost forgot we were talking about black cards for a minute.
it is.
But
You get a little frisky here.
yeah, the super rare though is crazy. The super rare is pretty good because you can splash it into any black sand leader. So and it's only 2 energy. Yeah, it's pretty good. It gets triple was dual attack and triple, or you can pick triple strike.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's dual double or triple strike.
Which, depending on the situation, I like that you got the option.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I definitely do too.
It's
That's a
obviously-
a solid card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously,
you pay
true life.
yeah
You're picking that dual double, baby.
yeah you pay the 2 energy, you get that dual double. When they token negate, you tap your 1 energy for the boo and be like, all right, well I'll take that token.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Broly's back, man. It's 30K.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding.
Well,
You have to
hey,
actually pay
some of
energy
them-
for these ones.
Hmm.
No, I guess Dark
Hey,
Broly, now you have to pay energy for them, but that's
Hey,
beside the
Dark
point.
Broly, turn 3, you play the red black Gogeta, I think, to Sensu Bean. Turn 4, you pay 2 energy for this.
Disgusting.
I'm bored.
No. But yeah, I guess we have one left. Beer, you've been holding off to the end. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I've actually been like thinking about this deck quite a lot. For the like every day when they're revealing stuff, I've been looking at everything very thoroughly, thinking about what lines to play, what sort of options, things like that, right? In terms of like card I like most that's been revealed, I would say probably the Fu Z card because obviously it ties everything together and actually lets the deck function, and it gives you your awaken, so you can actually start doing your curve properly, and then you can either play defensive or offensive or whatever the heck, right? So like that's probably like the best card there. And then in terms of like art, like everything overall looks great, but like I think Trunks looks cool as fuck. Like, man, it's like, yo, I'm fucking ready to kick some ass. It's like you're fucking 4K. Sit the fuck down, bro. Like, chill. Okay, he's a 10K, but you know what I mean. Like, but yeah, but like, but with regards like the whole archetype itself, right? Like, it seems okay overall. The only like big issue, because I was like, okay, so you have a self sufficient archetype. It stuns the opponent's board, which is a solid concept. I've thought of a few different ways to like have a strong Gyro engine, but one of the big problems is even though it's a black deck, it's not really a black deck. You don't burst, and because you don't burst, you're not going to overwhelm consistently. And it's not like Xeno Trunks where you're putting stuff in the warp and then you play the SR and then you can blah blah blah. It's you're not going to be able to fuel your drop very effectively, and you're not going to be able to fuel your warp very effectively early game. Late game, yeah, sure, no problem, but that does mean that certain engines that you would use a lot in other black decks just are not as consistent. Where other black decks will go for the overwhelm Goku, the 30K one, just to grab back stuff, probably not gonna happen. It's probably a 2 of, right? You probably will still run thwarting in there because it's thwarting. Like, why would you not? You'd be crazy to not. But like overall, you're not gonna be able to get it out as consistently because you're not overwhelming a lot. You're not warping a lot. So that's just like the one big thing to consider, right? But like something that like I was looking at in the card pool was like, what other cards in the game have Overlord, right? And
Shitload.
because obviously you have stuff, obviously you can servant stuff on your opponents, but you're gonna have some of your own servants too, right? Like that double strike Goku, right? So there's an Overlord Mecha Kabura
Mm-hmm.
for the Toa token deck, right? On play, he draws you one. His Overlord is going to draw you one, and when he uses Overlord, you get a 5K Demon Realm token, which is 5K combo power and 5K power. But then, if you have a way to fuel your drop just a little bit, you can Dark Overwhelm 3 and play Poutine. And Poutine makes another token, and when you swing with her and you do the activate battle, you draw a card, reset, and she gets plus 10K. So now she's already made a second token. you have a way of consistently overlording and making it so Poutine can swing on swing on your turn and draw you a card, and then block on your opponent's turn and draw you a card, and you keep doing this every turn, and now you have the food that overlords, you have the Z card that overlords, and you have this Mechikabura that overlords. Mind you, he can only do your board. The foos is obviously your opponent's board, so you just have to be careful of that and cognizant of that, of course. But you have a way where on your turn, your leader swing is going to draw you one, of course. You have potentially 3 overlords. That's 4 draws right there, and Poutine's another draw. You're drawing 5 cards a turn if things go to plan, which is absolutely insane. And then now you have a way to stall your opponent because you're drawing 5 cards every turn. You don't have to play the standard black strategy of Unga Bunga aggro. You can wait till you're at that turn 4, play the Vegito, keep your opponent at 4 life, play the Vegito, floodgate them, and then play the Mass Saiyan SCR, warp the Vegito, burn him down to 3, and then you can swing with it and see what happens. If they take the hit, then you play the SR for another 2, and you're like, okay, I'm going to give him double strike dual attack, and you just swing and go for a game. And what is your opponent really going to do? There isn't much that he can do, in all honesty, because now you also have that Goku SR, which is a 10k combo. Yeah, you give it to your opponent, they get a 5k combo, but when you do the math of things, if I'm swinging with my 30k double strike dual attack SR, and then I give it 10k power for the battle, I just give you 5k combo power, you're still a 15k base leader. You still have to out combo my 40k, and that's not counting anything else I combo with. So it adds up. Like these are like little things that like I'm poking my brain. Other things too is like the unison being able to like just give any of your cumbers servant is very strong because now your one drop searcher is a 15k beat stick. Your skillless is a 30k beat stick. But now this gives you the upper opportunity where instead of running the Poutine route, if you have a way to like just have like 3 cards and drop, you could run that old Overwhelm Trunks, the one that plays a skillless from your deck, a 2-cost skillless and gives a crit. Well, now you can play that skillless Cumber. He now is a 20k crit, and then you give him Servant. Now he's a 30k crit. That's scary. Or even the 90k dual attacker, you give him Servant, he's a 29k dual attacker. Like that. That is a lot of pressure you're putting on your opponent. Even I think you could. No, you can't do TSR. It's 6 or less. If you could do TSR, imagine that. Like you can't do it, but like that would be insane. So like I think the deck has potential to do good things. I think there is definitely a build for it. I do feel like if you're able to run that Mechikabura 1-drop, that's definitely good. I do really think if you have a way to just fuel the drop just a little bit, get that Dark Overwhelm set up and everything, drawing 5 cards a turn is powerful. There's no way around that, period. Like, I don't think anybody can argue against that.
Yeah, there's the Toa Overrealm too. That I like to add that one into like Tabura and stuff. But it's Overrealm. You only need 2 cards in the drop, but you give one of your black cards, I think, 5k for the turn. But you compare that with like the dual attack Cumber, and now he's a 24k dual attacker that can come
Pretty
out
strong.
turn 2.
Yeah, that's pretty strong. I do think obviously like people like to meme on and I totally get it. People like to meme on everything because I'll give my opponent's cards and it's not like King Vegeta levels of stupid. But one funny thing for blue players, and this is something you should sideboard, and maybe even Cumber players you should maybe consider sideboarding as a one of, is promo 001. Do any like I don't think you guys know promo 001. It's the first promo for the game. It is this Vegeta triple striker. He's blue, costs 6, and his permanent is basically if you have 7 more energy, um, he can basically just evolve onto any Vegeta on your board for free. He's a 25k triple striker. Now here's the funny thing: Cumber, the negate attack Vegeta is just a Vegeta, not a Vegeta
Yeah,
Xeno.
you're right.
So what you can do as the blue player, if you're facing Cumber, let's say the deck ends up being super snapped. If you play those like blue ramp decks that can stall like blue Beerus, SS4, Bojack, whatever, you could just run the Vegeta on your side. And when the Cumber player is like, "Oh, I'm gonna negate the attack and give you this Vegeta," you're just like, "Oh, thank you very much. Now I have a 25k triple striker. Thank you so much, buddy." And even as the Cumber
Thanks,
player,
Dad.
right? Exactly. Or even as the Cumber player, like if the meta becomes like if that deck ends up become really strong and like Cumber versus Cumber, you could just sideboard it anyways. And same thing again. If they give it to you, you're like, oh, cool. So you gave me this 3-cost card, and I just play this Vegeta on, and it's like, yeah, it's 25k triple strike for free. Mind you, you got to get to 7 energy, but I mean, that's not impossible. Let's be real here.
All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it a nice 1040 over here. and I got to work and I got to wake up at 6:30 in the morning.
No problem.
That sounds about right. I think we're about to wrap it up anyway.
Yeah.
But Beard, did you already mention Art? I'm not even.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it was
Trunks.
the Trunks. Yeah, that was the Trunks. He's ready to fight. You went with the Art first. That's why I was off the Ying. But have a good one, Charles. I guess.
point.
Was there any final thoughts with any of these this black deck going on? I know we didn't touch on, but I think the leader art, especially on the Awaken side, that
Yes.
foil is gonna look super fucking clean. That I think I'm just sick of seeing Super Saiyans. So seeing a Saiyan with long black hair and then just that aura around, I think looks super, super fucking sick. But that's just me. But if there's no final thoughts, speak of the devil, go. Let's
Me?
hear it.
Stay super?
That works too. No, before we get into the closing, I do want to mention that Game 3 is going to have a giveaway for this giant metal leader. So if you can see it on screen there, it's the good old Christmas Broly. And obviously you're seeing it mirrored image, but this Christmas Broly is part of the TCG Metals X Game 3 giveaway. So I'll be posting a video on my main channel, Kaioken Cards, about it. Should drop this Friday, but it'll basically be, once it's posted, you'll go to the Game 3 Facebook, like, share, and comment to give yourself a draw to win this leader, and that's all you got to do. But there'll be more information on my channel once I record that. I should be recording it after we do this, but I don't know if I'm awake enough to do that. We'll see. But yeah, to get your chance to win this, like, for comparison, let me grab another metal leader. I think I have the Zamasu right here. So here's a regular metal leader. Here's this fucking thing. Like, it's ridiculous.
You're like getting 4 liters for 1.
Yeah, I think it literally is 4. The way it lines up, yeah. So, you know.
Knew it.
Liter squared. But yeah, that was everything I had to say there. Carl, Beer, one of you, get me on the way out here.
I want to hear beer right now. Let's go.
Thanks to everybody who watched. Obviously, make sure to check out Kaioken Cards. Not Kaio Chris. He's cool too, but
you can check
Kaioken
him out
Cards is
instead.
where it's at. Please do make sure to check out his stream and his channel. He always does great stuff. Thanks for always watching and have a great time. I don't know. Shout out to our sponsor, Game 3, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That works. Don't forget to check Beer's Twitch too, because he mentions his own fucking Twitch. There we go. And Carl
and Dr. Offen too.
That's true. That's true. He left early though, so maybe check him. But you got to go to sleep early when you do with him. Carl, let me hear it one more time. I know you said it earlier, but my ears it's been a while.
Stay super.
Perfect. That fueled my soul.